A beautiful Monday morning to you, my listeners. Today is Monday, February 17, 2020. Welcome again to my channel. It's another beautiful day. And as always, I love to give God thanks, give the universe thanks, the cosmic force, cosmic energy. There's so many ways you can relate to the energy that created us, that created all of this, all of what you see, all of the known and the unknown. This universal power created it all. And as I always tell you, that power is within all of us. That makes us great. That makes us magnificent. That makes us powerful. That makes us infinite. It makes us the creative beings that we are. So my listeners, it's always a pleasure sharing my innermost thoughts, my innermost intuition, information, insights with you as they come through. I'm always interrogating things, interrogating life, looking at things that happen in life, because nothing happens on the surface, really. Everything is rooted somewhere in something. Everything is rooted. Nothing happens on the surface. But because we have been brainwashed to believe that what we see is what is, most of us tend to not look beyond what we see. We just depend on what we see with our five senses, or what our five senses tell us. What we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we hear, and what we feel. So we tend to just focus on those five senses when there's so much more to us. There are more dimensions to us. And there goes a bike. As always, I'm in traffic, heading to my job. Right. No, that won't distract us. So there are so many other dimensions to us, my listeners. There are so many other dimensions that they are deep, and these dimensions are really what we are, or who we are. There are dimensions of intelligence that we have not even tapped into as yet. These other dimensions are what makes us who we are. It's our true nature. There are dimensions of the mind, and so on. We will look at those dimensions in another video. I could list a few. There's intelligence, there's memory, there's insight, there's intuition. Those are some of the dimensions of our mind that we don't tap into. What the society tends to tap into is our intellect. And the intellect is really what we use, or what they use, what they tap into when we are being educated. So you educated based on your intellect, your intelligence. So you, based on your intellect, you create an identity, you create a personality, a persona, and you live life based on that personality that you've developed, who you are. I am Nadra Brown. I was born in St. Mary, Jamaica in 19. So I attended this school. I graduated university this year. My job title is my professional job is, and so on and so forth. So that's your identity. I love playing games. I love watching TV, whatever. I like reading books. I'm a fun person. I'm a loving person. I am an introvert. I'm an extrovert, and so on. So you develop, based on your intellect, you develop a personality. You develop this is who you are. Somebody say, who are you? This is what you will tell them, that this is me. So this is your intellect, my listeners. And this is just one dimension of your mind. there are several other dimensions that the education system does not teach us about. It just focuses on intellect. And the intellect is what we use the intellect to compare. So we dissect life. So it teaches us, you go to school, you get a job, you start life, you work your way, you retire, you die. That's what your intellect tells you. You compete, you're competitive. So if you solve problems by dissecting, you break down things to figure out what it is about. And this is the same dimension that we use when we are dealing with people as well. Intellect does not teach you how to deal with human beings. Intellect does not teach you how to tap into your true nature. It does not teach you how to be loving, caring, kind. It teaches you to be competitive. And as I've said in my other videos about learning to be competitive or being socialized to be competitive, this is what your intellect does, my listeners. So the important thing here, or the important takeaway, is that there's more to us than just our intellect, our minds, or what our minds tells us, or what we are taught by the education system, or how we are socialized. There's more to life than intellect. All right, so what I want to talk to you about today, my listeners, is health, our bodies, and how we should treat our bodies. Now, if you understand your true nature, if we understand our true nature, how did we get here? I'm sure there's a book in primary school, if my mind serves me correctly, titled "How Did We Get Here?" But I don't think that book is telling us the real story of how we got here, because how we got here is based on the creator that created us all. That's how we got here. We were created by the universal consciousness. The universal intelligence created us. We call it God. Because as human beings, we tend to give title to things. In order for us to understand things, we give them a title, or we give them a name. So for the universal consciousness, we call it God. But it has no name, my listeners. It's the cosmic, it's the cosmos. It has no name. We call it God. And I'm not telling you what to call the higher intelligence. Okay? Now, how did we get here? And in determining how we got here, will determine how we should treat our bodies and how we should nurture our bodies so that we can be healthy humans, so that our journey can be enriched here on earth. Now, how we got here, and the Bible tells us how we got here in Genesis, where it speaks about how God created the earth, the heavens and the earth, and how He created life on earth, and how He created man. He formed man from the dust of the earth, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So that's how we got here. God created us from the dirt, from the dust of the earth, and He breathed His divine breath in us, and we became alive. So that's how we are alive, or we remain alive, is because this cosmic intelligence is in us. The breath that is in us. Once this breath leaves our body, then the body no longer is alive. It's dead. The life force that is in us cannot die. That lives on. It's infinite. It lives on forever. It transcends dimensions. It lives on forever. Now, because we were created from the dust, from the dirt, it simply means that we are dirt. dirt is what made us. And it's not only human beings that it was created from the dirt. Everything that you can see was created from the dirt. Even the things that we have on earth today, if you notice that even the bauxite that we have here in Jamaica, they process it to get aluminum. So that's one example. You process it's earth. Anything that you can see was created from earth. It came out of the earth. Furniture came from the earth. The trees grew, and the furniture maker transformed the lumber into furniture. Almost all, I can't even name, but everything was created from earth. Everything was created from earth. There's some element of earth that is in everything that you can see. There may be many processes that has to take place for the final product, whatever that product is, but everything you can think of came from the earth. The food we eat came from the earth. Now, in order for us to know our true nature and understand who we are and what we are, we must understand from whence we came. And we came from the cosmic energy. The cosmic intelligence is what created us, and it created us from the earth, as I said. So my listeners, what should we eat in order to make our bodies flourish, in order to make us healthy? It simply means that if we came from the earth, that means we should eat things from the earth. And the Bible tells you, when God said, and I can't tell you the specific scripture, but I'll put it up on the screen when I'm creating this video. But God said, of all the tree-bearing plants that you shall eat, the herbs of the field, that is what you shall eat. The fruits of the tree, that's what He created man to eat. That was what He created for us to eat. Now, the reason for that is God is the one who created us, or the universe, the cosmic intelligence created us, so it would know what we should eat. We should eat things from the earth because we are earth. So therefore we put in us what we are. We are earth. Earth, dirt. That is why when somebody dies, they go in the ground, 6 feet in the ground. The body disintegrates, goes back to whence it came. We are from the earth. So we need to eat things that are from the earth, my listeners. That is why so many people are getting sick, because there's too much processed food that we are eating. And when they process the food, it loses its nutrients, it loses its value. So it contributes nothing to our bodies except to make us fat, put on weight, and get sick, because our immune system, our defense system that was created to defend our bodies, some of these things it cannot recognize. Some of these things that we eat destroys our immune system. It destroys our cells. It destroys the natural functioning of our bodies. That is what makes us become sick, because we are not eating from the earth. We are earth. We were made of earth. So, and God said He gave us the trees to bear fruits for us to eat, the herbs of the field, and so on. That is what God gave us as food, my listeners. Not these processed foods that we are getting or we're buying off the shelves in supermarkets. We have to be careful what we put in our bodies. We have to go back to our true nature. And if you notice in my videos, I speak about going back to our true nature, my listeners. Going back to our true nature to solve crime in the country or in the world. Go back to our true nature to know how to treat each other. Go back to our true nature to know how to love each other, how to care for each other, how to treat each other with equality and justice. Because knowing ourselves, knowing why we are here, knowing how we came here, knowing that the same cosmic intelligence, the same life energy is in all of us. That is what keeps us alive. It's in all of us. So if we have that understanding, my listeners, that the same cosmic intelligence, the same life force is in all of us, then we wouldn't want to harm the other person, because in essence, my listeners, we'll be harming ourselves. We'll be harming ourselves, because the energy that is in the universe, that is in us, it's just another form, but it's the same energy. When we die, that energy goes back into the cosmic or into the cosmos. So we are just separated based on form. It's the same cosmic intelligence or the same cosmic force that is in all of us, my listeners. It's just that it manifested in us so that it can experience its creation. So it's merely experiencing creation through us, the cosmic intelligence, the cosmic force. Right? So if we have an understanding of our true nature, and our true nature has to do with from whence we came, what we are, who we are, and who we are creative, infinite beings living in a mortal body or a form. That is what we are. We are infinite beings, because the life that is in us is infinite. It lives on. It cannot die. The opposite of birth is death. There's no opposite to life, my listeners. Life is infinite. It lives on forever. It transcends dimensions. So when one dies, the life force will leave this dimension and transition to another dimension. All right. So my listeners, I'm sure by now you would understand what we need to eat. So we need to eat the produce from the earth. We need to eat the plants, the herbs that is on earth. I mean, we eat meat, but we have to be careful what type of meat we eat. We need to go back to organic meat that is grown organically. There's not much medication that is added. I'm understanding these days that even the meat has a lot of antibiotics in it. And my listeners, that is one of the reasons why when persons are ill these days, they take so long to get better, because there's so much antibiotic in the meat that we are eating. And what I understand based on research is that the antibiotic is given to the animals because of how they are grown, or they are cramped together. So to prevent diseases, to prevent them from getting sick and dying, they feed them with a lot of antibiotics. And then when we consume this meat, the antibiotics come into our bodies. So we develop an aversion to antibiotics, and the medical persons can correct me if I'm wrong. We develop an aversion to antibiotics. So therefore, whenever one becomes ill and the doctor prescribes antibiotic, it may not work because our bodies are filled with antibiotic. So we develop an aversion to it. So my listeners, we have to be careful. We have to research. But I am saying to you today, it's not too late for us to change our eating habits, my listeners. We can change our eating habits so we can be more healthy. Cut out the junk food. Cut out the fast food. This is not food, my listeners. It's just a belly full. It's a belly full that will cost you your health. It will cost you your wealth. Because when you're ill, you have to spend a lot of money at the doctor. And the doctors are not going to tell you that it's the food you're eating that making you sick, because they want to make money. The pharmaceuticals want to sell drugs. A simple thing like somebody being constipated, my listeners. A simple thing like that. You will go to the doctor and the doctor will prescribe so much medication for you, when simply all you need to do is change your eating habits, change your diet, include a lot of roughage, a lot of wheat products, my listeners, a lot of fiber. That's what you would need to include in your diet. And drink a lot of water. Your body is over 70% water, and a lot of persons don't even drink water. Water is life, my listeners. Your body responds differently to water because water is life. Water is very holy, right? So drinking a lot of water, eating healthy, meaning you eat the things from the earth, my listeners. This will help you and having a good spirit, a renewing of your mind, because your mind also helps with your health, my listeners. You have to be able to look at life, change your perception on life, be realistic about life, and know that nothing in life is perfect. Life itself is not perfect, my listeners. So your outlook on life will matter as well. How you view life. It doesn't matter how you were programmed by the society or by the education system. You can break free from that programming, my listeners. You can break free from that programming. There are persons who deep down they know that what they see is not it. What they see is not everything. There are persons who are frustrated because they are saying that I am living the way that society tells me to live. I went to school, I went to college, I have a degree, and some persons who even have a degree can't even get a job. I have a degree, I'm in a good paying job, I am married with children, and I am not happy. I am very unhappy. So what did I do wrong? I am following the instructions, I am following the what has been laid out, the examples, and I am not happy. My listeners, life is not about being physical. Life is about being spiritual, and I'm not just talking about going to church, because life is more than that. Being spiritual meaning that you're connected to your source, you're connected to you're connected internally. The source of creation is inside of you. The intelligence that you need to survive is inside of you. It's not just in your brain, your intellect. There's more intelligence. The intelligence that you need, that is available to us all, is inside. It's not in our brains. And if we learn to quiet our brains, quiet our minds, then the intelligence will come out. I'm telling you, it will come out. Do not depend too much on your mind, my listeners. Your mind tells you things that you have learned. That is what your mind uses to guide you, and it's not always correct. Alright? So my listeners, it is my wish, and in all my videos I will speak about going back to our true nature, from whence we came. If we know from whence we came, my listeners, then we will know how to live with each other, how to exist in a spirit of mutual respect, mutual trust, equity. We will know, we will understand why we are here. We will understand how to treat ourselves first. Because as they would say, if you don't know how to love yourself, you can't love somebody else. So if we understand our true nature, we will understand that we are pure love. We are pure love. Our DNA was created with love. That is what we are. But if we live externally, if we are physical beings and we are not connected to our source, then we won't know how to express love, how to show love, how to give and receive love, my listeners. So it is important that we go back to our true nature. When we do that, we will know what to eat. And then our bodies will also tell us what we should eat. Our body will refuse the things that are not right for it. I am telling you, my listeners, when you understand life, understand your nature, where you come from, when that intelligence comes out in you, it will refuse things. It will not allow you to do certain things. But you have to also listen to your innermost self. So it's a lot, my listeners, but we can do it. We can do it. Do research for yourselves as well, my listeners. Don't just take life as you see it. Go online. There's so much information online. We're living in the information age. So there is no excuse, my listeners. There is no excuse, but you have to search for yourselves. You have to search for yourselves, because people are not going to come and open your mind and say, oh, learn this. You need to learn this for your better. It's for your good. No, nobody's going to do that. And a lot of persons don't even know that this information exists, my listeners. So it's not like they're hiding it. A lot of persons don't know. They just live based on what they are taught and what they see. So I spoke about being awake from sleep, and not just the slumber that you slumber at night or whenever in your bed. I'm talking about being awake from the programmings that are here, the social programming, the biological programmings. And those are a reality, my listeners. How you know if you're programmed? If every day for you is a routine. If every day you get up, you do the same things, then you are programmed. If you don't even think that there's anything else out there, that means you're programmed. And I'm telling you, you are programmed. If all you see each day is getting up, do the same thing, you get out of the bed the same way, you get up, you make tea, you take care of your children, send them to school, you go to work, you come home, you cook dinner, you prepare to go to bed. Every day you do the same thing. That means you're programmed, my listeners. There's more to life than just routine. That's not living, that's just existing, that's just merely getting by. Alright, my listeners, so I hope that the information I've provided this morning, it's a little bit overcast on Marcus Garvey Drive, downtown Kingston. It's a bit overcast today, but nonetheless, we give thanks for being above ground another day, being able to share or continue on our journey with each other. And I hope that, my listeners, you will take time out. I want my listeners to be enlightened, to become conscious. So take the time out, my listeners, to interrogate life, interrogate information. Don't just take life as is. Because there's so much beauty out there. There's so much beauty inside, that once you've connected to that beauty, to your source, to your true nature, to the greatness in you, life begins to transform, my listeners. But it requires a renewing of your mind as well, because your mind will tell you all sorts of things, but you have to learn to discern your mind, to not listen to some things that it tells you, because it's not always correct. All right, so it is my wish, my listeners, that you will have a beautiful day, a magnificent week, and that your consciousness levels will increase based on the interrogation that you do, and the more you attempt to connect with your true nature. My listeners, this is Nadra Brown, your soul teacher, your motivational speaker. Do have a blessed day. I thank you.